Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today we're excited to check out Mr. Game, the Chaotic Party Game from Margrave Games. This is for 4 to 8 players, ages 12 plus. It'll take you about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And in Mr. Game, you are going to be rolling and moving across the board, trying to get to a goal area. You get to a goal area, you'll be the winner of the game. But along the way, rules are going to be made up and rules are going to be debated on, and Mr. Game will be deciding what rules are going to be implemented into each game. Each game will be different depending on who the game master is, aka Mr. Game or Mrs. Game, depending on if you choose a lady. What? What? What the hell am I talking about? Let's open it up and I'll tell you. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Mr. Game. First and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet, which is really 6 pages double-sided. And as you can see, nothing here, nothing here. Really, it's a very short, concise rule booklet that will teach you exactly... I take that back. It won't teach you how to play the game. It will give you a very loose idea of how you are going to play the game, and then from that point, you are going to be creating the game yourself to a certain degree. So before we get started, I do want to mention that Mr. Game is a very different game. They give you a very loose groundwork for how the game is played, but then one person is going to be assigned to be Mr. Game. As they put it in here, Mr. Game is going to make up all the rules, essentially. If there's a rules question or if someone wants to push the rules of the game, he will get to decide if it is fair. And that's the main thing. You can have pretty much any rule you want in this game, and you can put forth any rule you want to modify the game, but Mr. Game has to approve it, and it has to be fair to everyone, or else Mr. Game will be removed from his spot, and someone else will be the new Mr. Game. So, in this game, what you're trying to do is you're going to be rolling these 4-sided dice, and then you're going to be moving your pawn over to a goal tile, which will be these tiles right here, which will have either number 1, 2, 3, or 4. As you can see over here, there are going to be other tiles that we placed on the board. They will be doing all sorts of various different things. So I'll show you a little bit more how the game works, and we'll go into the components. So first, component-wise, everybody's going to get their own unique pawn. These are top-of-the-line pawns, clearly, as you can see. 8 different colors. I will say, though, I do like the fact that they include one of these guys right here so you can know which everyone's color is. So it's a card that you place in front of you so everyone will know what color you are. Next, you're going to get these tiles over here. You're going to put out the number 4, and then the rest of them are going to go face down. And there's lots of different tiles. There's blank tiles, which you will be making rules for, depending on what it is, whoever sets it out. There are portal tiles, which will allow you to do portals, obviously. There's normal spaces, which are pretty meh, but you can modify the rules to however you want to do them. And we did do that. You got web spaces. You are stuck on a turn. Instead of rolling to move, draw a card. So that is kind of stinky. You don't get to move, but you do get to draw a card, which can be great. And then you have these spaces, which are the draw a card spaces. And when you land on a draw a card space, you're going to be able to draw a card. As you can see all around the board, there are also plenty of draw a card spaces and roll again spaces. Lots of typical things that you would see in mass market games of the 70s and the 80s. Next, you're going to get this deck right here. There's going to be 3 kinds of cards in this deck. You're going to have green cards, which are called power-ups. You immediately play it when you draw it, and it's going to go in front of you, and it's going to give you a persistent effect until it's removed either by someone else playing a card, or if you ever roll doubles on the dice, you remove it. So this one, when you move or are moved, draw a tile and place it in the space you left. So that's an interesting card that will shake things up. This is an action card. So as you can see, it's got a lightning bolt right there, which means it will immediately happen when you draw it. Draw a tile and place it anywhere on the board, or move a tile. Here's another one. Skip. Skip the next player's turn. Oh, that's fun. Peek. Draw 3 cards from the deck, take 1 and discard the other 2. This is another power-up. Sleight of hand. Draw 2 cards instead of 1 whenever you draw. Very useful. So those are 2 of the 3 types of cards. Last but not least, you're going to have the red cards, which are called badges. And you're going to keep these concealed and play at any point in the game. It doesn't matter whose turn it is. It could be yours or someone else's. So play this card to stop any player from moving. So that could potentially stop someone from winning the game. Mr. Stretch Goal. Play this card to roll both dice. Choose one of the numbers you roll to be the new goal. Because as we stated, you just need to get to a goal to win the game. But there will be different ways that you can modify the rules. And in fact, I'll tell you one of the different ways that we modified the rules to give you kind of an example of how it works. So what are you going to be doing on your turn? Well, it's very simple. You're going to be rolling both the dice, and then you're going to pick whichever number you want to, and you're going to move that many spaces. So I have a 1, and I have a 2. So I can either go 1 or 2 spaces. Obviously, I'd probably go, you know what, I'd go 1, 2 right here. So that way I'm getting a little bit closer to the 4. I draw the top card of the deck. It is a badge, which means I would keep it. Play this card to pull another player to your space. I'm not going to do that at this moment, obviously, because it doesn't make much sense, and then my turn would be over. But in the end, you were trying to get to a goal space, and whoever can get to a goal space first is going to win the game, unless, of course, you change the rules, and then that's not how the game is going to be played. This is a very difficult game to explain the middle part, I will say. Now, another thing they include in the game are also these guys, the alternate game types that you can play on. I took a look at a couple of these. We played one of them. We played the Last Man Standing, which was kind of fun, but there's different ones. There's team-based ones, cooperative ones, all sorts of different variations and stuff like that. The one that we did, that I wanted to mention, was that I didn't quite understand the rules when I first played the game. Kind of a shocker. And so I made it so that in order for the game to end, you had to have at least one person on each, at least one person on a number tile. Because the one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where are they? They're in here somewhere. There we go. So, for instance, if these two are out, the game would end immediately after someone's turn in which two people, one person, at least one person, was on each of the tiles. So we ended up having 3 winners that game because I think we had 2 people down, well, 4 was moved to somewhere around here by that point. We had 2 people on the 4, 1 person on the 2, so 3 people ended up winning the game because people came up with me with rules questions, and I didn't quite understand how the rules work. So I said, oh, so this is how it's going to work. And that, in a kind of crazy jumbled nutshell, is how Mr. Game can be played. Alright then, Mr. Game, the chaotic party game from Margrave Games. What are my final thoughts? For the pros, let's go to the cons. First, on the con side, some people are really going to hate this game. The rules are always up for debate, pretty much. The rules are always going to be changing, especially as you start to understand more of how the game works. Because on your turn, you can just do something. Like, you can just say, alright, I'm going to go all the way around the board. And as long as no one says anything about it, or as long as Mr. Game approves it and says it's fair for everyone, that's just a new rule in the game that you can do. There will be times where there will be things open to interpretation. And it'd be like, I think this is what this card does, or I think this is what this lets me do. And in most games, that's going to be a very bad thing when that happens. But in this game, that is actually part of the game design because Mr. Game gets to decide how that rule works. It's very interesting, and I'll talk more about that in the pros, but some people are absolutely going to hate it. I played in particular with one guy who I played tons of games with. He has played some of the worst Kickstarter prototypes with me with broken games and broken rules, and he said, I will never play that game again with you. I hate that game. I just can't handle how that game works. So some people are going to be turned off by that idea a lot. Also, artwork, very minimalist artwork. This looks like something you'd get, you know, in the 1970s. I mean, you look at the board and you're like, wow, is that a game? Another con is that it can stretch sometimes, and there's lots of take that cards in the game. There's a card that skips everyone's turn, and there's skip turns, and you can tell that this is on the lighter side. This is definitely a more casual party game, for the most part, and I'll tell you about that in the pros, obviously. But for the most part, this is a very light party game. You roll, you move, you get power-ups, you do this, you're like, oh, skip a turn, haha, jump this spot, haha, we switch spots, haha, I steal your cards, stuff like that. Typical stuff that is going to be a turn-off to a lot of people. Any other cons that I have with the game? Sometimes, depending on what your objectives are, the game can stretch as well, and that is something that I want to mention. So let's move on to the pros. I wasn't quite sure what to expect with this game. My buddy Eric put it as his #1 game, most anticipated game of Gen Con last year. So they posted on this website, they're like, hey, we're looking for viewers. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in checking it out. I love party games. I know Eric was interested in checking out this game. So when I got it, and I read the rule booklets, and I was like, wait, I feel like there's not quite enough rules here to play a game. And we played it. And at first, everyone was just like, wait, what's going on? And then people slowly started to be like, can I do this? And I was elected Mr. Game, because I'd read the rule booklet. And I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And before the end of the game, we had a different objective set up, we had different rules set up, and everyone playing, for the most part, really enjoyed the game. It's a very interesting, unique idea, which is part of the reason why I really like the game. Because, let's be honest, most games, even great games, don't bring new ideas to the table. They just don't. You know, take one of my favorite games of all time, Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition. There's a lot going on there. You know, asymmetrical powers. You know, there's you know, space exploration, and there's random stuff that's going to be happening, and there's politics, and there's this and there's that. But nothing new is there. It's just a lot of really great things. This is new. This is something I've never seen before in a game, where the rules are intentionally left fuzzy so that one person, the president if you want to, is going to be able to decide how those rules work. But at the same time, it's not like that you're the president, you have a leg up over everyone. It's just that you get to create the rules, and they have to be fair and balanced, or else you'll get vetoed out and someone else will be president, and they'll change the rules around. And it's just this crazy out there concept that works. And it does work, and it's fun. And while I said that it's mostly for lighter gamers, and I stick by that, I feel like some game nights really will get a kick out of this, because you can push limits. When you're a gamer and you know how games work, you can be like, oh, well, can I do this? Is this something that I can do? You know, the rules lawyer would be like, well, you can do this. And in this game, you can try and do that. As long as everybody's cool with that, it's just a rule now. Yes. And that's another great thing I like about this game. With a lot of games, you have questions. Like, oh, wait, I'm not quite sure how this works. Am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? This game has definite answers for absolutely every question you have. You know how? You ask Mr. Game, and he will tell you exactly how everything works. And that's satisfying. Component-wise, perfectly serviceable components. The tile is nice. I wish maybe there was a little bit more types of cards. There's a lot of cards that do a lot of things, but a lot of them are very samey. But overall, Mr. Game is a game that I can recommend. I absolutely recommend that everyone watching this video try this game. I do. And I don't say that about too many games, that I think everyone should try this game. But this is one that I think everyone should try, because you may be surprised, and you may like it just because it's so out there, it's so different, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my time with this game. I know it's not going to be for everybody, and I know it's not going to be a game that I bust out all the time, but I have a feeling this is a game that I'm going to keep for different certain situations, and it's a lot of fun. So, Mr. Game. Enjoyable, out there, different. I'm excited to see what different versions of the rules come out, and I'm excited to see if there actually is a small community that comes up and comes out with all these crazy different rules, because that would be very exciting. But Mr. Game, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time, as always. But let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this game? And do you think that this type of game with flexible rules could be picked up and put into an actual modern board game format, a Euro, Ameritrash game? Do you think it would be possible? And if so, give me some ideas, because I think that's a very interesting concept. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.